Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Tips and Tricks Tuesday and we have the Magical Mists Kaiser coloring book. This I just got at Hobby Lobby. Well, when I first started coloring, I got this at Hobby Lobby. I do not know if it's available on Amazon, but I will take a look, and if it is, I will leave a link. So this is the book that we're going to be working on. I have pulled the pages out so that I can show you what we're doing. We have already gone through and done mist and ghosts, and our final bit for Halloween and for doing Halloween type stuff is going to be magical bottles. So bottles that glow, that have swirling magical abilities in them. Potion bottles, so to speak. So I have done the love potion bottle, and there's a couple of different things that you can do to enhance this bottle. If you wanted to, you could take your gel pen and you could go around the bottle with the gel pen and erase that line like that. I find that I'm not very fond of that look, but it does work. I have seen many people do it, and their work always looks wonderful. I do it on my own, and it's like, that doesn't look right to me. But like I said, it is a personal preference, and quite frankly, I don't know how they do it. They always make it look wonderful, and when I do it, it looks blah. It looks scratchy, and I can see the black through it. And I'm using the same gel pens. I'm just not sure why mine go blech. Let's see if I can grab a thicker one here. This one's an 8. This one might be too thick. Turn the page. And after the gel pen dries, if you want to, you can take a highlighter pen and go over the gel pen with a highlighter pen, which can make it glow. Use a yellow highlight pen. I, of course, searched everywhere and I can't find mine. I know I have a brand new pack of them somewhere. I've probably stuck them away because I thought I had one in my desk. The kids probably stole the one out of my desk, so, you know how that goes. Children, they are wonderful beings. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just going around the edge where that black line is and erasing it, making the bottle look more fluid. I have seen this done with bottles, I've seen it done with crystals, and that sort of thing. And like I said, I have done it, and unfortunately, mine, I always sit there going, that looks terrible. And I think it's just my own eye, because I'm quite sure that it doesn't look terrible. It just doesn't look right to me. Like I said, it's more than likely my own eye. And how I see things. And I have a tendency to pick apart my own work, so I have a tendency to look too closely and pick apart, looking for flaws. So I'm just going through, making sure that I get all of the black. Now with gel pens, you have to be careful that you don't put too much of the weight on the paper. Otherwise, you're just not going to lay down the ink and you'll scratch it back off if you have to go over it. The Arteza gel pens are working a lot better than the Jelly Roll. I didn't think I'd ever come to a day where Artezas were better than Jelly Rolls, but, well, I didn't think I'd come to a day where Arteza had gel pens either, so, you know. Now I think you pretty much get the gist of it here. And I will, of course, go through and finish up the whiting out of the lines on this one at another time. So I'm going to switch you over. Excuse me. I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera so you can get a better view of that now that I've, completely run my hand in the way. And there's still some black here. When you're going over things, just to find a little spot that hasn't quite removed the black area, just don't go too hard. Otherwise, all you're going to do is scratch off what you've already laid down. So just be careful of that. That's a little better. Still missed it on this one. But that's my critical brain. I'm giving it more weight than it needs. But so that's what I mean by whiting out the lines. Once this dries, I can go over it, like I said, with a yellow or with a highlighter pen and brighten that up. Alright, so I'm going to turn on the light here because, well, maybe not. It's making it way too bright. Alright, so I'm going to move that out of the way so we don't rub on it. And we're going to start on this one here. And we're, of course, going to use the Hippie Crafter colored pencils, as well as the Winsor Newton colored pencils because I have them on my desk. So I will mix them together a little bit, I think. Alright, so this one here we're going to do in greens. So I'm going to grab some greens. I think we're going to start with some aquatic kind of greens, some teal. For those edges. Now I know we're not going to get through all of these bottles, but I want to be able to show you how to make this glow. So we've got the bottle color here. We're going to do the bottle color and the changes in the bottle as it curves. And then we'll do the potion inside the bottle after we have the bottle color in. Now I'm just putting in a little bit of this teal on the edges here because it's going to be our bottle color. So anywhere where that bottle is going to be the thickest, like in the extension of these curves, because in my brain they're sticking up and are going to have a thicker amount of glass there. Now if I thought they were indented and this part here was sticking up, I would make it a little bit further down on the edge. But the edge that I'm seeing is this is sticking up. Sorry about the train, it's coming through and it sounds like he's going to be noisy. So hopefully it's not too irritating. And we have a couple of drivers that just love to blow their whistle. But it's a good thing because it is a school day and there may be children out and about. Whether they're supposed to be or not. And the teenagers just love to walk on the tracks. I don't know why. And then we're going to do this one. Hopefully, it looks like it's a little out of focus. Let's fix that. It's either that or else it's my glasses. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. There, that's a little better. And we'll turn up the brightness a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now, the Hippie Crafter colored pencils that I'm using, I am reviewing them. So using them in different projects, I have found that some of them are still a little scratchy, almost like there's a piece of pigment or a bunch of pigment that didn't dissolve properly. I have also found out, I have not received any information back from the Hippie Crafter even after sending them an email, but I have found out through research and looking at having people look at pencils that they've bought that were of the Black Barrel 180 sets that all came out at the same time, and they are labeled the same, so they are definitely a white label type of pencil. And they are a small company, so I don't really like saying it, but for a white labeled pencil, their price point is a little bit higher than I would like, or that I would pay, and their quality, unfortunately, they really should talk to their manufacturer about the quality of the pencils, because Some of them are really good. The colors are very vibrant, and there's a really fantastic range of colors in their set. However, the scratchiness of the pencils, especially to anybody that has problems with sensations, could possibly lose them some customer base. So now we're going to go in with cyan, which is a lighter blue, and I'm not going right into the center areas. I'm just going down from that teal down to the center of the open area. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. I'm not trying to fill in all the white spot, but I am trying to get a good level of color in the areas that I'm coloring. The reason why I'm not too worried about filling in the white spot at this point is because I have other colors that I'm going to be adding. I'm going to turn this light on a little bit. Turn on the light, it gets really bright. Yeah, that's too bright. I've got to find a light that works well with this camera so that I can see what I'm doing a little better. And so you guys can see what I'm doing a little better without having to change the lighting. Excuse me, the coloring of the colored pencils. Because sometimes if you change the settings on the camera to show it lighter, it shows the colored pencils color the wrong color, so it can be confusing. So if you have any type of black barrel pencils, whether it be the Brute Funer, the Sioux Color, the Color, just trying to think of all the different ones that came out. You can follow along with just the colors that I've mentioned. Like I've used teal and I've used cyan, which is 128. And then we're going to use just a little touch of sky blue up here in the shadowy area. Just where that neck of the bottle is and where this base is. Because those are the two areas that are going to have the thickest amount of glass. Not too concerned about getting it onto the base because I'm going to be coloring that this color anyway. So let's get that out of the way now. This very bottom part of the base here, where it connects to the bottle itself, is very thick. So I'm coloring that in with this sky blue. And then we'll take the cyan again and we'll just fill that in, dragging that sky blue around a little bit. Alright, now we're going to take the pale blue and we're just going to gently fill in some of that white spot on the outside and that center area a little bit. Now these bottles are not really ones that, this one in particular, that you're going to see a lot of movement in the bottle unless there's light. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually add that light in. So I'm going to dust this off, make sure there's no blue in there, loose and around. And then we're going to take our canary yellow and we're just going to add a little bit of canary yellow. Swirling around in there. Doesn't matter if it starts turning green, that's perfectly fine. And then we're going to take a little bit of red. Now I'm going to use lipstick red, which is a very good red out of the Winsor & Newton. And the reason why I used the Winsor & Newton instead of the red out of the other set is because it's a lot darker of a red. It's more of an actual red, where with the other set the reds are quite orange or too brown, too purpley. This one is an actual very red. And I'm just combining and moving that red with the yellow up the neck of the bottle. Like so. Now we're going to take that canary yellow again and we're just going to darken and brighten, I should say, that yellow a bit. Like that. And we're just going to put a little bit more here in that center area. And then we're going to take the yellow green. So this is light yellowish green, and I'm going to sharpen it a bit, and we're going to add that as well. Any lime green would work very well for this part. It's that vibrant, a nice fluorescent green. Like that. And that gives it that swirly potion look in the bottle. Now we're going to just quickly go through and use our blender pencil here. Although my blender pencil's starting to get kind of short. And we're just going to blend the edges of the bottle. Making that glass very smooth. I don't know how well this is translating in the video. Like I said, I'm having issues with this camera. I really need to get another one, but they're so expensive. Because if I'm going to get another one, I'm not going to get another cheapo one. Well, I wouldn't even say cheapo because the one I'm using is quite an expensive camera. What is it called? Webcam. And even it has some issues. So it's not even the fact that it's an inexpensive camera. It's just not made for what I do. And I don't think there's too many cameras out there made for what we do, but I would like one that is at least a little bit clearer and picks up the colors properly. But we all have wants. Alright, so that gives you the impression that those swirls are inside the bottle. Now to give you the impression that they're glowing, we're going to take the yellow green and we're going to go up the bottle with it. Now for the neck of the bottle, we're also going to add that swirl in there as well. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult for me because I have not mastered that ability yet. So we're going to take the yellow green and combine them all. Then we're going to take the yellow. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's pastel yellow. And then we're going to take that red. I should have done the red first. And a little bit of red. And then the yellow green again. And then the red. I'm going to extend this yellow green out a little bit. And add a little bit of red. And some yellow. And then we're going to take that aquamarine kind of color, the cobalt, or not the cobalt, the turquoise, or teal, sorry, teal. And we're just going to go down the edges of the bottle, adding that bottle color. Like that. And then the stopper as well. Then for the stopper, we're going to add little clouds of it that are settling in the top here. Swirling and settling. Like that. And then we can just take a little bit of this and just thicken up those edges. Like so. Alright, so we'll put that back. Now we've got the glow going around the bottle. We're going to take a little bit of the yellow as well. And like so. Now I don't like the uniformity of the glow, the way that it's uniform. So what I do is I take all my colors and make sure that I have all the colors that I want for that glow in there. Quite heavy in. And then I take an eraser. So this is a mono sand eraser. And what it does is it erases, but in the processes of erasing that, it also feathers out and softens out those edges. So I can go in as far as I want to go and pull it out this way a little bit. And as it gets further into the white area or where there's less of a color, it just feathers out that edge a little bit, making it a lot softer than we had going around it before. So I'm going to dust that away so you can see what I mean. So see how that's so much more, so much softer of an edge than the other side. And then we're going to do the other side here as well. I want this to be softer up here. Now I do find that doing this with a handheld eraser can be a little hard on your hands. However, doing it with a electric eraser, it's harder to get that soft edge without completely removing your color and having to go back in and doing that again and again and again until you've got the amount on there that you want. If you do this with an electric eraser, I find it takes too much off and you end up with lines instead of a soft edge. You could definitely do it with an electric eraser if you're better with an electric eraser than I am, which is very possible. I'm not great with them. They are a great tool though. And there is our glowing bottle with our potion moving around inside. Now I'm just going to up the color of some of the potion here. Now that I've got it figured out a little bit on what colors I wanted in there. And how I wanted them to move. So we're just going to build that up a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing with the green and the yellow. Build that color up a little bit more. And of course, when you do this, you're blending in to those other colors and possibly removing some of your white spot and your tooth of your paper, which is kind of what you want to do. So all right, now we're going to do this side. Make sure if you've picked up any of the other colors that you wipe off your pencil so that you don't transfer it into an area you don't want it to be. And then the final step that we're going to do is we're going to take our blender pencil and we're just going to very gently blend those into the bottle. Now I'm working from the blue into the color so that I'm not corrupting that blue. If you do it the other way around, you will find that your blue gets less and less blue. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move that yellow, and then we're going to move the red. What I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I wipe off the color so that when I go into the next area, if I've gone into some of the other colors, it doesn't pick it up and change the color that I'm working with. The Caran d'Ache doesn't pick up a lot of color, but every once in a while you still gotta give it a couple of wipes just to make sure. Especially with working with a green and red and yellow and blue, you can find that you're definitely going to be moving that color into each other a little more than you'd like to. This area here, I want it to be all swirly swirly with the colors, so I'm not worried too much about it up here. Like that. And then down here, like that. And I blended the outer area with the eraser. Alright, so there is a potion bottle with a swirl in it. This one here is probably dry now, so let's take a look at it. And this one here is a red potion, and I've got the yellow orange around it. And I tested that, and it still feels a little wet, but we're gonna work with it. Now, if I could remember where my highlighter was, that would help. However, I cannot. Let's see if they're... nope. They've got to be here somewhere. It's going to drive me crazy. Things get put in places and shoved in places, and the next thing I know, I'm digging around searching for them. I should not have to. They should just be where I put them. Which is, obviously my fault because it is my stuff. So I'm just going to quickly look in one other spot, see if I stuck them in here because they were unopened. I might have said, oh, those aren't opened yet, so they need to go in here. Not so much. I'm really wondering if my kids stole them off my desk, because they were a brand new set of highlighter pens. Kids. Who said we had to have kids? It's not it. Okay. And I know I've seen them recently. I hate that. Drives me crazy. Alright, I got a couple more spots I can look. I'm going to have to go through all my drawers because things have gotten messy. Because, you dig around in a drawer for something, and then the next thing you know, you've messed up the entire drawer. And I think that is what has happened. Is I've dug around in a drawer somewhere and buried them. Because Because, yeah, that's what we do, right? We put things in places and go, okay, everything fits in here really nice. And then we dig around in that drawer, and the next thing we know, things don't fit as well as they should. So you have to readjust everything, like I do right now, because things aren't fitting the way they were 2 seconds ago. And then you can never find them again. Isn't that the way it always goes? Isn't that the way it's supposed to go? You're not supposed to be able to find things. What the heck? Okay, so this one will work. It's not the one I was looking for, but it will work. Alright, so you take a fluorescent yellow pen. Yeah, mix it up. This is an acrylic paint pen. You have to be very careful that you don't lift up your white gel pen with it. So just little tiny touches onto the white. With that fluorescent paint pen. We'll give that look that the potion inside is glowing out. Now, if you wanted to, you could also use this in the center areas of your panes for your glass. I'll show you this, what I mean, in just a second here. Trying not to lift too much of that gel pen. The thinner areas are going to lift a little bit more than the thicker areas. So you just have to be a little careful. And don't rub, like don't draw it in, just gently tap it, moving that ink down without putting too much contact with your pen. Otherwise, like I said, you will pick up that white ink, and you want that white ink there so that you can have a surface for this reflective ink to be on that'll stand out. Okay, so now we've got the yellow in for that reflective surface. So we can take this yellow and go into the center areas of our bottle. What I'm doing with my fingers, I'm just moving it around a little bit, pressing it down so that I don't have big globs of it. And we'll do it up here as well. just giving it that glowy kind of look. Now I'll show you on the other camera here what I mean. Let's switch you over to the main camera. So as you can see, it has that fluorescent glow to the bottle, like the light is coming out of those creases in the bottle. So that is our lesson for today, is potion bottles and how to make them look like potion bottles. This one here, basically all I did is I colored it in the way I would normally color in a bottle. I colored it in all in reds. I added some yellow on the white spot that was there, and then I blended it all together. I then took the white gel pen and went over the lines. Once that white gel pen was dry, I took the fluorescent paint pen and went over the gel pen areas. Now, if you push too hard on your paint pen, you're going to end up lifting up your colored pencil as well as um, your gel pen. So when you're going over your gel pen, for example, let's say this is a gel penned area here. Okay, so we've got the one leaf there gel penned, but if I go over that leaf with the paint pen here, because I'm rubbing it, it's picking up that gel and removing it and making a mess on my paint pen. Now, because these are a water-based ink, of course it likes to lift up the paper, so be careful with that as well. That's why I prefer the highlighter pens, because they're a lot less likely to lift up your paper. So if you are going to use a like this is a glitter marker, what it does is it has glitter in the paint and makes it all shiny. However, I'm not seeing a whole lot of glitter in the, oh, there we are. Yeah, there is. Huh. So let's turn on this close-up camera here so you can see. Maybe. There is actually quite a bit of glitter in that yellow. Of course you can't see it. But there is quite a bit of glitter in here, so but anyway, the glitter markers or the paint markers, if you're going to use those, just be careful how much you rub back and forth, because as you can see here, it's picked up a bit of the paper and you end up with yuckies on your pen. Now if you lay that down, let it dry, and then go over it with your white ink, you may have more or less likelihood of it lifting up. And if you do it when the paint pen is wet, you may have a possibility, depending upon your gel pen, of it picking up that marker color, because some gel pens will pick up the color that they've been put over top of. So if you've gone over the entire thing, including the black lines, and then went over the black lines, you may end up picking up that color and showing those lines as that fluorescent color, which is cool. All right, guys, that is my how-to on doing potion bottles. Switch it back over to the main. Let's see if I can move this along. There we go. So this one here we've done with marker, with the acrylic glitter marker, which is a fluorescent yellow. Normally I would do this with a fluorescent yellow marker, but I can't find my fluorescent markers. I don't know where they went to. Somebody has stolen them. As well as this one here, which I did just in colored pencil, and we've given it that swirl. Now the artist that drew this had that swirl already in there, so it was quite simple to just follow the swirl that was with the bottle. Now if you're doing this on your own and you're using a regular bottle, another thing that you can do, and, okay, there's one there. Okay, so there's a regular bottle here. So I'm going to do this one here as a green bottle. And we're going to start with a darker green on the edge. I'm just going to find a good one here. So I'm going to start with the bluish green, just on the edge of this bottle. And I'm not doing it heavy, I'm just doing the very, very edge of the bottle. The area where it's furthest away. Going a little bit thicker as I get to the bottom. And the base, of course, is thicker. This is one of the scratchy pencils. It's fine after you get a layer down, but when you're first putting down a layer, it's quite scratchy. Alright, so there's our base color for the bottle. Now we're going to take our yellow, which we're going to use canary yellow, and we're going to start with some yellow smoke in the bottle. Like that. I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera so you can see a little bit better. Just going to move things around. There we go. So I haven't made it uniform. It's all higgly-piggly. And we want that. We want it to be all higgly-piggly. And then we're going to go in with this yellow-green. And once again, just adding to that yellow. Now I want to put a little bit of pink in there as well. So we've got rose pink here, which is a bright fluorescent-y type of pink. And what we're doing is we're just making those swirls go around the bottle. So then we're going to take this one, we're going to swirl it into there and into here. Then we're going to take that yellow and we're just going to finish it off by swirling some yellow in there. Like so. So that gives you the swirl effect of different colors coming together. Now, if you want to, you can of course, put a little bit of a glow to the edge of the bottle down here, and into the neck. So that you can see that they're glowing out of the bottle. And then you just take your blender, and now with this we're going to work from our light into our darkest colors, and we're just going to blend them all together. Now you can definitely do this with the Caran d'Ache blender. You can do this with an alcohol blender, something that moves all of it all at once, that sort of thing. Now the only thing that you need to remember is you've got the glass here of the bottle, but you've also got things, embellishments and things on the glass. So after you get the edges all taken care of and it looks like a bottle, you've got to go through and put in the shadows and whatnot from your embellishments. So this part here, as well as the cord around the neck of the bottle, all need to have their shadows put in so that you can say, okay, it's on the bottle, not in the bottle, if that makes sense. And of course with this bottle you can do the same thing as we were talking about before, and we can add the white gel pen to the edge of the bottle and add the highlighter to it, creating that glow coming out of the bottle. Now I'm not too worried about the white spot because it just adds to the effect. Just making sure that I get the yellows and the pinks blended together and the greens blended together so that they're seamless but still individual. Just so that they go from one color to the next without huge amounts of turmoil. Well, a little bit of turmoil. So I'm going to switch you over to the main camera so you can see that a little bit better. So as you can see, it's all together. I've put the fluorescent on there, which gives it that glow look like we did here. Now if I wanted to, I could do the same thing on this one just by following that yellow up the bottle with the yellow paint. Like that, which gives you that translucent yellow look. Alright guys, so that is the tutorial of the day on how to do potion bottles and how to do different effects in the potion bottles. So this one here, we've done a swirl effect, moving that potion in the direction of the bottle. This one here is a cloudy swirl effect, where we've got different colors of potion all mixing together and swirling around each other in a glass bottle. And then we have a glowing potion, which is a yellow potion inside of a red bottle, giving it a nice yellow glow. How to put the glow around the bottles and soften those lines so it looks like the bottle is glowing, not like it's been outlined. And that's the important part, is getting those lines very soft so that the bottle itself looks like it is emitting that yellow glow, and not that that it has been outlined with on purpose. So hopefully that all made sense. I thank you all very much for joining me. I hope that you have found this helpful, um, or at least entertaining. If I've done it differently or in your eyes incorrectly, I do say the all-encompassing disclaimer of this is how I do it. Of course, there are many, many different people out there that do things completely different. This is how I have found works best for me. It may not work best for you. Give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What's the harm? Otherwise, guys, make sure that you give it a try on something that you're not currently, 3/4 of the way done, because if it doesn't work for you, you may get a little bit mad at me, and I really don't want people mad at me. So make sure that it works first. Try it on something that you want to test on, not something that you're currently coloring. Other than that, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Of course, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I do put out a video every single day, including Sundays at the moment, because I am doing a hug a day. I will be doing the hug for today later on this afternoon. So, of course, keep an eye out for that as well. Until next time, which will be tomorrow for our Wednesday, Work in Progress Wednesday, which I will be finishing off, hopefully finishing off, the Octi-Freak. I have been working on it. Oh, let's see if I can pull her out. So we will be finishing off the Octi-Freak. So this is done by Heather Valentin. And of course, this is Octi-Freak from the Midnight Carnival, which is a new book for Heather that will be coming out this month. We did have her join us for questions and fun stuff last Wednesday, so I hope you were able to catch that video and catch that live stream. Of course, we will be live at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we will go for 2 hours. And of course, we don't want to get butt into other people's streams. So after me will be Rhea, and she is an absolutely wonderful colorist. Her channel name, if you're not already subscribed, is Rhea Colors. All right, guys, until then, thank you all very much for watching. Of course, remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Until next time, bye-bye for now, guys.